Hello, everyone. Welcome to Get Connected with Julie and Michael. We are thrilled to be here with you today. We've got an incredible guest lined up for you also, but we're here to serve you and to help you really, thrive and make it way past beyond present circumstances and build your business strong. So it's an incredible honor to be here with you. How you doing, Michael?
Life is good. Life is good. A little bit more snow in Buffalo, New York. So
Oh my
hoping that
goodness.
that starts to disappear in the next week or so. But other than that, everything is good here.
Oh,
Starting.
it's my birthday on Sunday and snow. We were watching the snow come in. I'm like, I think this is a first. Last year we were bundled up in our winter coats, but we didn't get snow. But this year it's like all the snow has fallen down. So pretty interesting time, right?
Everyone's been doing these fun kind of car parades and things like that. So I even there's a Montessori school that's right near our house. So a lot of the parents did a fun parade the other day to kind of celebrate the teachers. That a lot of the schools in Western New York, where I live, are still closed, but that was kind of a fun parade and signs and all that good stuff. So
Yeah. Parades, those are going to be a new thing propelling us forward, right? Graduation parades, all that kind of stuff.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, so I think we've had a few really good shows here, and I encourage everybody to go back and tune into the replays. And we're going to be doing some prize giveaways as we progress, and there'll be different takeaways that we make sure that we drive home at the end of the show. But Michael, is there anything that you want to share with everybody this week, like a great enrollment building tip, something that you're like, oh, this is so important, I've got to share this with everybody?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm hoping that a lot of you are starting to kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm a huge fan of metrics and trends and things like that. So we're leveraging a variety of different tools to kind of monitor uptick in calls and uptick in website visits and things like that. And for the last 2.5 weeks, they're kind of continuing to incrementally grow. So we've got a lot of centers that we're working with that are finally starting to see the phone conversations kind of getting back to normal rather than calling saying, hey, are you guys, still open? Or can I defer for a couple of months to, hey, we've got to get my kids out of the house. When can we drop them off? So definitely hoping that you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But one thing that I want to throw at everyone that's listening and then everyone that's going to listen to the replay is now is a perfect time to kind of work on these re-engagement and kind of these win-back campaigns.
Mm.
So what we're doing is kind of going through all of your old leads. So any of the phone leads that called in, any of the people that came in for tours that didn't end up booking, Facebook messages, the step that has to start at the beginning is really kind of gathering everything up. And even if you have stuff on notepads, for example, you got stuff on paper, your receptionist, they have some stuff in one place, you have some stuff in Outlook, and this person has it in Gmail, and usually it's a little bit all over the place initially. But I want you to kind of gather everything together, get it into something like an Excel sheet, preferably even more so kind of Google Sheets so that it's in the cloud so that people can collaborate. But what I'm looking for you to do, and I'll kind of give you a quick case study just based on metrics, because we literally just deployed one of these again yesterday. Even if you've got 15 people on there, 10 people, 200 people, the number is irrelevant. But what I'm looking for you to do, and I talked about this in one of the first episodes of how to engage with your current families, phone calls, so kind of voice broadcast, emails, and text messages. With this one, you can even simply start with a text message. And it could be something like, hey, this is Michael with ABC Academy. Just wanted to send you a friendly hello. Things are getting back to normal here. Are you still looking for childcare? ? And maybe a fun little emoji. Something as simple as that. Not a full-blown message, not a huge essay. And you can load it into a tool like easytexting.com, for example. You
Good
load in the
tool.
phone numbers. Yeah, great. That's a great tool, really inexpensive. And once you load it in there, you literally put the numbers in, you draft the text message, hit send. You want to make sure that you register a local phone number. So if you're in a certain area code, you don't want to have a completely different area code. It should be a local area code number. Definitely not your personal cell phone. So this all goes through kind of a cloud-based tool, and hit send. And what you're going to be surprised to see, and I've never seen this not work, So as long as you kind of follow the steps, I have never seen this not drive at least one enrollment. So we sent this yesterday they've got one location. They're based in Georgia. Things are continuing to get back to normal in Georgia. I believe there were just under 100 people, I think 85, 90 people that were on the list. We sent it out, and we had first we kind of got a couple of, no, I'm going to keep my kids at home this summer, or ping me back next year, for example. So, I mean, nothing nasty by any means. But then we started to get some messages that said, yes, tell me more. Are you doing a summer camp? Are you doing activities? Do you have a splash pad? So we started to get more into that whole conversational marketing aspect. And they already have enrolled 3 people. And this literally was just sent yesterday at 3:30 on the East Coast. Starting to get some conversations. I would be shocked if they don't have 7 to 10 enrollments by the end of this week. So from one text message.
Nice.
So you've got to, and it's not a ton of work. It's just, you've got to gather those lists up. And that really is the secret sauce. Is a lot of times you have all these people that have kind of applied in different ways, and you're storing them in all these different places and just a little bit all over the place. If you spend a couple hours and get your leads a little bit more organized so that you're not missing anyone, shoot out a friendly text message, and you will be shocked to see the responses start to come in pretty quickly. So that is my tip and my win for you this week so far.
Awesome. I think that's great. And this wasn't just a tip. This was like the whole blueprint. I hope everybody got that, because you really want to be engaging your families. You want to be engaging your staff. And if you haven't done that continuously up through now, it's a perfect time to implement this strategy, do a text message, and get those enrollments filled, because we are seeing it with both of our clients, where now is not the time to sit back and say, oh, well, when things return to normal, or the new normal, all those overused words right now, in my opinion, it is the time to engage with your contacts and engage with your staff. So I'll piggyback on that with a staff tip. And I want you to think about how things were before the pandemic with your staff. And I want you to think about the things, and you can even think about this in regards with your clients as well, but I'm going to address it from a staff perspective. Think about the behaviors that you were tolerating, because when crisis hits, we kind of forget about, all those different things, whether it's tardiness or unprofessionalism or whatever it might have been, or workplace gossip. And I want you to think back to before that time and think about, how do you want your staff to behave and to treat you in the workplace? So what do you want your workplace culture to be like? And clearly define that. And then once you define that, there's a lot of different things that you could be doing to really bring that culture to life. The strategy that I'm going to recommend for you today, if you haven't already done this or don't have a process in place, is I want you to start having regular one-on-one meetings with each one of your staff members. And there's typically a lot of questions that come up when I talk about the strategy, and there's a lot of different approaches to it. But the main thing is to talk about, here's the vision, here's what I need to be seeing from you more or differently. Do you agree? Do you buy into this? And that's a really important step. And then you get mutual agreement, and then you talk about specific action steps that this person's going to be taking to really align with your vision and to improve their performance in your workplace. And I really believe that your people can be transformed when they are coached correctly, but it takes a lot of follow-up. And I know in the marketing world, Michael, we say the fortune is in the
follow-up, for sure.
Follow-up. Well, the same thing's true with your staff. The fortune is in the follow-up with your staff. So if we address a behavior once and then we forget about it, guess what's going to happen? They're also going to forget about it. They're not going to take it seriously. So if you document it and you set up a schedule for regular one-on-one meetings with each one of your staff members, and you start doing it right now, and you could start doing it virtually to talk about their brilliance, to talk about what they bring to the table, and then to talk about the vision and to get their buy-in to how they could help bring that vision to life. Document it, you sign it, they sign it, you ask them what support they need from you, and then you have a follow-up meeting. So one of the biggest steps in this is to really look at your calendar right now for the next 12 months and get your one-on-ones on your schedule, because what doesn't get scheduled typically doesn't get done. So make sure that that gets on your schedule. And it's always like one of the things I think we think about last, like, oh yeah, I got to get to those one-on-ones someday when I have time. But I tell you what, one of the biggest profit killers in your childcare program is going to be when you lose staff or when you have unmotivated staff who are part of the team and you're paying for that. So get your schedule out, look at that, get your one-on-one scheduled, and then also have a backup date. So if you can't have that staff meeting, that one-on-one on that one date, pick out a backup date where you can have it so you know it's going to happen. Now, the magic in this is that you are going to start falling back in love with your people. You're also going to be able to identify who might need to be replaced here. Because if you have people who are saying, well, I don't know if I'm sold on the vision, I don't know if that's an important thing, then you could start working another end of the spectrum, which is to really look at your help wanted ads and start putting the energy out there that, hey, I'm hiring for our infant room. I've got a toddler position here I want to replace somebody for. And I don't think it's ever bad to let your current staff know that you're always on the lookout for the most amazing team members possible. So
no, that was great.
I think that'd be my strategy for this morning.
No, that was great. I mean, we're similar methodologies. We're always saying that we're willing to hire A players. And the only piece I'd like to add on to that, and then let's bring on our special guest today, is you always want to keep a list of, I call them a bench. So you kind of, even if we're not hiring at the moment, we always have a bench of A players. And I'm trying to just kind of cultivate that. There's some of these people that I've been cultivating for 3-4 years that they may never end up joining my company, but I'm sending a quick little birthday text message. Sometimes I'll send a little $5 Starbucks gift card, for example. So you're kind of continuing to cultivate these people that if something in their life changes, if you were the one that was actually continuing to kind of cultivate that relationship and kind of keep them on your virtual bench, so to speak, it's a great way to grab A players. So what a wonderful strategy around hiring. And it definitely, there's going to be, a shortage of really great talent. So, to your point, this is definitely the perfect time to kind of step up your game for sure.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying, because it's not, you call it a bench, but I say you always want a wait list. You always want a wait list of staff. You always want a wait list of clients who are ready to enroll with you. And what I love about what you've added, Michael, is that you're creating raving fans out of your staff. And they may know somebody who needs childcare. They may need childcare themselves, but it's sending a clear message that how you treat them in that pre-interview or that pre-hiring process is going to be how you treat everybody who comes in contact with your organization. So always be enrolling, always be hiring. And you've heard that, but now let's put some strategy in place to make it happen.
Love it. So let's bring on our special guest. I'll let you make the introduction and let me get her added to our feed here.
All right.
Perfect. We got her on.
I didn't tell everybody we had an angel waiting in the wings for us. And she's probably never heard that before, right? Angel, welcome so much to get connected with Julie and Michael. I met Angel at an event. I think it was last year. I was introduced to you by Bill Walsh, and I heard her speaking on stage, and she was talking about media exposure. And I believe you came out with your book, The ABCs of Media Exposure, if I remember correctly. Ooh, there it is. And she was talking about how to get yourself into media. And I thought, what an important topic to be talking about, because we have a lot of our childcare owners who are getting like last minute notifications. Hey, can you be on the news tonight? And then we have other people who are saying, oh gosh, I really need more publicity. So Angel is really your person to talk to about that, and she's going to help you get in front of the media, because now, and I've been preaching this message, is the time, right? You could just pick up the phone, call a paper, you've got a feel-good story, and they're going to probably eat it up. But Angel's going to give us some facts and figures behind that and let us know how we could actually make it happen. So welcome. I'm so happy that you're here.
Oh, I'm so excited that you invited me. Julie, it's been a fun epidemic, a pandemic, right? Staying home and doing virtual summits and doing a lot of webinars and a lot of live calls. But you are right. There are so many opportunities to create exposure right now. Just the other day, we have a local newspaper that gets dropped off on our driveway every week. And that newspaper was so thin. There were, I think, 4 pages to this newspaper. And it just broke my heart, because the reason why is people aren't connecting with their local journalists and letting them know about their stories. But they are looking for stories. They are hard pressed for stories right now.
Yes. And we've had clients who just call the paper, and the next thing you know, they're on the front page of the paper. And then we had somebody else where we were getting her some good exposure in some community Facebook groups. And the next thing she knows, she's got a radio station saying, hey, we're looking for some feel-good stories. Can you come on? And that's like free publicity for her. So
it is free publicity, right? And so many small business owners, especially, are saying, I wish more people have heard of me. I need more exposure. I need more publicity. Okay, when was the last time you wrote a press release? You know, eyeballs, like deer in the headlights. When was the last time you connected with your local journalist and let them know what you were doing? You know, crickets. They're not psychic. They don't have a crystal ball and magically know where all the hot stories are. So I teach entrepreneurs how to connect with the media, how to put together a media pitch, how to write a press release, where to find those journalists, what those stories need to look like. And it's a game changer because when more people have heard of you and you are creating exposure, exposure is the secret to growing your business and growing your brand. Instead of building one-to-one, build it one to media.
That's awesome. One to media. I like that because that's really a way to leverage your time, right? So you've got these people who really are knowing, liking you, loving you, and you're building relationships. So I think that's really awesome. One to media. Where is the best place to start building relationships with people in the media? Like I always say, LinkedIn. I want to see what you have to say.
Well, so your local media outlets are going to be the best bang for your buck to get started. One, because they're looking for those local stories. They're looking for human interest stories and the entrance to barrier, right? The entrance barrier, whatever.
One of those.
Easy access.
Right.
Easy access to your local media outlets. So your local TV stations, your local radio stations, your local newspapers, every town has them. And even when I say local, I don't always necessarily mean your local hometown. If there's a city that you want to create exposure in, Atlanta, in Denver, in Chicago, in New York, think about their local towns as well. And every single one of those websites, every single one of those channels, directly on their website, they have, submit your press release here, contact us here, share your story here. They are looking for stories right on their website. You can connect directly with the local media outlets. One of the things I recommend, though, is to get to know journalists. They're human beings. Build relationships with them. So go into LinkedIn. It's a fabulous search engine tool. And when you know the station, right, search in. It'll give you all the list of the people that are affiliated with that network, that station, that magazine, that TV show, that newspaper. And you can connect directly with them. Build that know, like, and trust. Like their stuff. Comment on their post. I always give a 100 comment challenge. Go to the media outlets, the people you want to connect with, and comment, because what shows up in our notifications is Julie commented, Michael commented, and what are we going to do? We are going to read those comments. So add value, like their stuff, share it, get that recognition. So then when you reach out to them with your media pitch, you're not a stranger.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. And, what if though, because my head tries to wrap around this, I'm like, well, where would I even start? Who do I even know that I'd want to contact? So is there like a source where we could find out like what the local media is and who we should be building relationships with? So if we back it up like a step or two, because I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know. I know ABC, NBC, who would I contact or how would I find out who my local media is?
So one of my favorite tools, of course, is Google. And so if you were to type in your topic that you speak on, Julie, right, you talk about, childcare, starting a business, think about the topic that you speak on. And if you were to put that into Google, and then there's a sub filter, like you see one, it says shopping, it says videos, books, like images. There's a little sub bar that says news.
Ooh.
When you type in your topic and then you click on the news. So tell me your topic, Julie.
So we could say like staff motivation or workplace culture.
Workplace culture. Okay, so I'm just going to
staff.
Workplace culture, right? So we're going to do this like live and in real time here. Workplace culture. So like, where's my camera? So do you see where it says news? Where's it at? Where is it? There we go. Do you see it
Yep.
says news under there? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
I'm going to click on news, and it brings me up. It brings up all these different news outlets. Forbes, ABC Official, Credit Union Journal, Greater Baton Rouge Business Report, lots of Forbes, which are probably contributing authors. But what I am looking for are the actual city news stations. Tampa Bay Business Journal, Business Wire, Industry Week, Science Daily, KGW.com in Oregon. So they're all talking about workplace culture right now, right? 13 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 9 hours ago, 1 hour ago. So these are media outlets that are covering your topic. This is a great place, an organic place to start to connect with that journalist. If I was to click on this KGW in Oregon, it'll give me the exact person who did the story, and I can connect directly with that journalist. If I click on that, well, it's being slow, but I can connect indirectly, and it'll usually directly connect me to their email. So I would send them my media pitch. I could send them my press release, make an introduction. I could go follow them on LinkedIn and, engage with them there, make a workplace, tag the article back to, reshare it, add my comments to it, tag the journalist, building relationships and building that connection. What you really want to do is become the expert. So when you say workplace culture, this is the second piece. So number one is what's your expert topic, so that you can connect to journalists that are covering your topic, right? You don't want to reach out to people who never talk about that. You want to talk to journalists that are covering that story. So now you position yourself as that expert in the place, right? My name's Julie. I'm a workplace culture specialist and an expert in workplace culture, right? These are the top 3 things that I teach, that I provide, that my takeaways are. Have you written a book on it, Julie?
Have I? No.
Yeah?
Not yet. I have a best-selling childcare business success book.
Okay, right? So one of the easiest ways to create media exposure and to get invited as a guest for free in earned media is to become a published author of what I call your food book. It's the book that puts food on the table. It's the book that attracts perfect stages, like puts you in front of the perfect audience, and then also brings clients into your sales funnel. It's this dynamic, interactive tool that does both. So when you think about ABCs of exposure, right? When I get invited to speak, I'm speaking to people who are looking for more exposure, right? That's a topic that station, that stage, that platform covers. I am the expert on media, media exposure. In fact, I wrote the book on it. And that's what I want. Like you position yourself as that expert. And when we go through, I do a media mastery boot camp. It's a 3-day event. And the whole first piece is all on positioning you. How do we position you? What's that title? What's that thing that you do in your sleep that's keeping clients up at night? How do we find the right media outlets that match you up? Because we really want to be matchy-matchy.
Yeah.
The second piece is to put together this food book. We teach you how to get published within 90 days by publishing your food book. It's that dynamic tool that's going to put you in front of the right stages and attract more perfect clients into your sales funnel, so that you are building your business to media, that you are getting exposure, right? And exposure and revenue are the 2 things that we focus on at Media Mastery, because those are the 2. Like most entrepreneurs are spending 80% of their time on engagement. Like they're sending emails to the same people that are already on their list. They're on social media, talking to the same people they talked to yesterday, right? Over and over again, the same people, which is great for engagement, right? You're building relationships, and relationships are built one-to-one. But in order to really scale up your business, to get more eyeballs, you need exposure. And that comes from what I call OPP, other people's platforms, radio shows, television, magazines, podcasts, summits, podcast shows, morning TV shows here on social media. Yeah, and there is a lot of opportunity right now. They are looking for guests. You guys are looking for guests even to be on your show.
Yes, absolutely. And and Mike will probably join in here, but I think this is so powerful, because think about all the different things that are going on in your childcare programs. Think about all the different aspects, all the different feel-good stories, all the different things that you could be turning into a movement so that it gets media attention. Whether it's wrapping your arms around the community in some way, whether it's servicing the community in some way, whether it's doing, you do a big bucket of, thank you healthcare worker cards that get dropped off at the hospital. And then there's pictures in the media of the kids drawing and, making the cards. I think people would just be like, oh, gosh, I want to go cover that story because we want to get that in print. And
they do. They absolutely do. And we do things every day, especially as entrepreneurs. Right? Our days are full. Every one of those checkmark lists of things that you accomplished today could be turned into a news story. Right? If it's current events, if it's newsworthy, if it's compelling, right? You can turn every one of those. In fact, Julie, I'll give you guys, I have a PDF of 52 press release ideas just to get you start thinking in the PR mode of publicity of things that you're doing. You just listed off a handful of activities you're doing anyways. You don't even have to really go and create news. Right. You're doing it anyways, but you're keeping it a secret. That's not a way to build a business.
Yeah. So if we look at, the people that are listening are either owners or leaders in kind of local childcare businesses, and some of them have locations kind of scattered across the U.S., but let's just say they're in, we'll pick a bigger city, at Atlanta, for example. What would be some examples that you would give them? So you mentioned kind of going to Google and looking at the news, for example. So maybe, they wouldn't necessarily be experts in employee engagement, for example, but maybe what are some of the topics that you would suggest they kind of start to look for? So maybe feel-good stories, for example, anything relating to kids and school. There's obviously a lot of news that's coming out about schools being closed. And as we were talking, I just typed in childcare, for example, and there are, lots and lots of, kind of global stories of, this one's many childcare facilities aren't accepting kids, but for some parents, the bills keep coming, for example. So that could be a good story to look at adding on to, or newsjacking, so to speak. And I heard that term way back when. But could you give us an example of if they were a childcare owner, for example, in Atlanta, what would be some of the kind of maybe the stories, or what are some of the angles that you would like to see them pursue?
And again, like even if you're watching the news, and you mentioned the phrase newsjacking, it's really taking a news story and like piggybacking on it, infusing your voice into the conversation. So if you're watching the news, and right now, of course, you see anything that has to do with the pandemic, the quarantine, the rollout, something that's trending in the news. And if you're doing something different, you're doing something that relates to it in any way, right? It's called newsjacking. You can pitch it like, you're already talking about this. Here's how we're adjusting to. Here's how we're reacting to. Here's how we're responding to that happening in our world. So anything seasonal, anything that's trending in the news, and pop culture, holidays. All of that is, and again, you look at your to-do list. Look at the things that you've checked off in the last 4 or 5 weeks that have shifted in your business. Did you change something? Did you change, are you starting to add new activities? Are you changing the way you're doing business? Are you changing your enrollment process? If something is changing and you're doing something new, that's newsworthy, right? So news isn't evergreen. It's not, oh, I do this every day. Like we always check in, like it's always the same thing. It's not an article. It's not an infomercial. It's not a blog. It's something fresh and new. So if you had the kids go and drop off cards to the hospital, that's something new, right? And that's newsworthy. It's current events. So you really do, you have to take off your sales hat and put on your PR hat and look back. In fact, we're doing a workshop this week on press release headlines, because these are so critical. And most business owners, like, we just can't wrap our heads around, like, well, I did this. That's newsworthy. That's a story right there. Oh, it is? Like, we just are so trained just to do business as usual, which is why working with somebody in marketing, why working with somebody in publicity, why working with somebody in media can just just kind of help dust off the cobwebs, right, in your head, to help put that reminder that what you do every day matters. What you do for the community really does have an impact. So stop playing small. Stop thinking nobody wants to hear your story. Let the media be the judge of that. Right? Don't keep it to yourself and make that quick snap judgment. They won't share this story. They don't want this story. They don't want me. Like, that's really small, pathetic thinking, right? Yeah. And that's not going to get our business anywhere. Think bigger, think grander, think publicity. Right? You want to be the one that's top of mind, tip of tongue. When everybody is back in and back out looking for the best childcare place, what are they going to do? They're going to Google, right? They're going to search around. He with the most exposure wins. So if I'm finding your website, that's great. But I'd really love to find you on OPP. How many other people are talking about you? Oh, look, you had a news story about this. Oh, you were in a magazine about that. Oh, they interviewed you here about this. This is good stuff, right? You want people to be able to like binge scroll. Like, oh my gosh, there you are. There you are.
Goodness, they're everywhere.
Yes. He with the most exposure wins, right? Be so visible that you can't be ignored. People follow the crowds. They want to be a part of something bigger. They want to be a part of those stories. People would be proud to say, my kid goes there. Like, that's where I go. I chose that place that is making this impact, right? And so the sociology, the fear of missing out, the feel goodness of it. Yeah. Shine the light on what you're doing.
It's a really good, a good point. And I haven't thought of kind of, what's the right word? Not social pressure, but just I guess the whole bragging rights, so to speak, of, obviously a lot of parents like to say, my kid's on the honor roll and they did this and that. And I never thought of the PR angle of putting yourself in the parent's shoes and being able to say, hey, did you see that school that was featured on the local news, that childcare center? That's where I've sent all my kids. Yeah.
And it helps you when you're wanting to hire. I've had companies that they said that, it's easier for them to find employees because they say, yeah, I saw you on the news. I saw this article. I saw you here. You seem like a good company to work for. So if you're looking to hire the very best talent, to keep that pipeline full of talent, vendors, the same with bringing on vendors. They see you, they're creating that exposure. They want to be tied and right on your coattails.
Absolutely. And then think about what you could do with media once you have it, because it doesn't just stop with getting yourself on the front page of the newspaper or getting yourself, in print or there, be replaying these things, share a link with your Facebook people. And I don't know about you, Michael, but I do not see enough people really tapping into the power of their personal Facebook page to share links, to talk about what's going on in their childcare programs. But you could easily take, and this is, probably like an old school strategy, but take the newspaper print that you're in, get lots of copies of those, and then send them out to everybody who came in for a tour. Absolutely. Send them out to your current clients and say, oh, look.
Frame it, right? You frame those articles, right? We used to have, our walls when I had an office, they were lined with articles. In fact, now they're
put them up.
Right? Because it's exciting. Like those ABC, NBC, CBS logos, your local stations, they are affiliates. The major networks get their news from their regional affiliates, and their regional affiliates get their news from their local stations. But those are ABC, NBC, CBS affiliates. So when you share those links, those brands are familiar. You aren't yet, right? Your store or your location, your brand name might not yet be super familiar to the community, but those logos are. So when you share those on your social sites, right, it stops the scroll. Like, oh, their story with this big giant ABC medallion, right, is exciting. I'm going to pay attention to that, which is also, again, where the headlines make a really big difference, like having your name in these press release headlines, leveraging the power of a press release. Every single month, you should be putting out a press release for your business at the minimum once a quarter, but ideally every single month, right? It's breadcrumb marketing, and it's social proof, it's Google food, it's SEO, it's bragging rights, and it's so accessible. They are looking for stories. They want your stories. Look at how thin your local newspapers are right now. And if you're tired of hearing the same stories over and over again on the news, like, feed them something new. Feed them something new, and you might just be featured in the prime, 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be anything big. What I think about is even like the food that you're feeding the children when they're enrolled in your childcare program. If you're somebody who believes in organics and greens and healthy stuff and really helping them do immune boosting things, yoga, stress reduction, whatever it might be. I mean, those to me are all things that would be like, oh, wait a second, what's going on over here?
Yeah, and just keep feeding them stories, right? Like that might not be something they want today. That's okay, right? They just won't share it, but you can still share it on your social sites. It doesn't go to waste. But the more often you share, they're going to be sitting back in their production team going, okay, well, we need something on organic foods. Wait, didn't we have a story, something about that childcare? Like, where is that? Here it is. Okay, intern, call them, right? Or actually, now they don't have anybody work. I'll call them, right? Myself, right? Get them on the phone. And can you be here? Can you, and you've got to be media ready, right? I mean, I think that, small business owners, they are afraid of the exposure, right? I can't handle the exposure. I won't be able to handle the influx, or I'm not ready, or it's not perfect. Like we have all these little excuses running around in our head of why we can't have it. Stop it, right? Your business, you got into business to make a difference, to create a legacy, to make an impact. So make it, right? And don't be afraid of it. When they call, answer the phone and say yes, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Done is better than none. Only Mary Poppins was practically perfect in every way. We do not have to be. And so, if you mess up, and this is also why you start local. If you mess up and you kind of flubbed over yourself, right? It was just in your local. So use it as practice. So then when you get to the major networks, you're skilled and practiced and ready to go.
Woo.
I wanted to just throw one addition to Julie's comment about making sure that you're posting on Facebook. I think one of the things that most people don't know, and I didn't know it until about a year ago, and I'm on Facebook all day, every day, is that you can actually segment out what your friends and your followers on your Facebook account are actually seeing. So I've got a basket for family. I've got a basket for clients. I have a basket for prospects. I have a basket for media. So you're able to kind of break out your different things. So if you're like, oh, I don't want a lot of the centers that we work with. So I don't want anyone seeing pictures of my kids, or I don't want them to see this post, or political posts, or whatever it is that you'd be worried about someone else seeing. Well, you can actually segment out and then cater what you're putting out. And it takes a little bit of work. It's, some effort on the front end, but that kind of dispels that whole challenge of, well, I'm just not going to post anything because I don't want I've got clients on here. I've got, college people, high school people, family members. So we'll just forget about it. It's a very, very easy thing to do. It just takes a little bit of time. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Anything that you're, saying I'm not going to do because of, there's an answer to it, right? It's an excuse that's keeping you from playing big, from leveraging the exposure, the tool, the social media tool. Like if you're not actively engaged on social media, here's the thing, like as a consumer, absolutely. Social media can feel like a waste of time, right? You get caught up in videos and distractions, and it can keep you from being productive. But as a vendor, as a marketer, as a brand, and you are your brand, like where you go, your brand follows, using it is super productive. And it can be even more productive. But if you're thinking that it's not, it's probably that you're not using the tool effectively.
Very powerful stuff. So let's let everybody know where they can get more information about you, your upcoming boot camp, and your book.
Yeah, so I have a book. It's called ABCs of Exposure. It's an alphabetical guide to media, publicity, publishing, speaking, all of that. And it's just super quick little vignettes in super quick and easy read, just a great little resource. You can obviously find that on Amazon. I do have a list of 52 press release ideas just to kind of get you start thinking like a publicist for your brand, as well as some guaranteed media contacts and ways to get guaranteed media exposure. You can grab that complimentary guide at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. And I do have a boot camp coming up. It's a three-day boot camp on media. It's media mastery. everything you need to know to put together your entire media assets. So you'll always be hashtag media ready. I can send you some details and information on that coming up June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But get your free copy of the complimentary guide, the free press release ideas. It has a database, a quick start database guide, all sorts of great resources, and it's all complimentary just for having me as a guest on your show today. And then the book ABCs of Exposure, just a really quick read if you're into that.
Awesome. Great resources. And make sure that you join Michael and I live here. We're airing Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you like the show, now is a good time just to take a moment and share it out to everybody that you know in this industry, because we really want to help you make a transformation happen. And now is the time. Opportunities are unlimited. And Angel is here to help us, breathe life into that, to make things happen for you. So how many times, Angel, do we have to reach out to people in the media? I know it's about building relationships, but let's say we have this idea and we're super hot on the idea. We're like, oh, this should be something. This is something I can talk about. And we reach out to some media folks and we say, I sent them an email and said ideas for a news release, whatever it might be, but we don't hear back from anybody. How many times do we typically have to reach out and contact that person directly? And is there any tips or tricks that you have for getting that idea in front of them quicker in a way that they'll respond?
Well, my favorite, right, is when we pitch the story directly, to that journalist and they respond on the first try. And that happens, right? When you've got the right story, you're sending it to the right person.
It's
the timing is right, like everything happens. And I love it when that happens. Like that's most favorite. But it doesn't always work that way. They're busy, they're active, right? They're actively running around the newsroom. So I always follow up, right? I send two follow-up reminders. So when I send the first pitch, I'll wait, up to 10 days, a few days to up to 10 days before I'll send them a reminder. And then I'll just say, hey, just following up, just checking back in to see if you're interested in running this story. And then up to 10 days later, I'll send a third and final follow-up on that story. Just one last time, seeing if you're interested in running this story. Right? You don't have to bombard them every day. They're busy. They're humans, right? Give them a chance, give them a minute to breathe and see what news stories. They might already be set up for that weekend or for that week. And so if you send it on the 1st and then the 10th and the 20th, that kind of covers you throughout the entire month, right? To cover your story. And then I drop it, right? That story, like they heard from me, they got it 3 times. We're good to go. But next month, I'm going to send them a new story, right? Here's a new idea. Here's a different story, a different angle, something fresh and new. And let's try it again. And up to 90 days, right? You've now sent them 9 pitches over the course of 90 days. You're following them. You've created some familiarity. You've created some recognition. But here's the thing. We never stop. Media never stops. Marketing never stops. Building relationships, sharing your story, it is something you will forever do. So just set it up on your calendar that, a couple times a month, you're going to send out some media stories. You're going to follow up. You're going to submit a press release. You never want to stop creating exposure for you and your business.
That's fantastic. What if you go on the media, and a lot of our owners right now are getting some calls to say, hey, can you do a show with us on Thursday? And I know one of the mindsets is like, oh, I'm going to say the wrong thing. But what if you actually get the interview and you do say the wrong thing and you feel like, man, did I screw up? Is there recovery from that once you feel like it's out there to the world?
So what? Right? Bad publicity is sometimes just as exciting as good publicity, right? So what? Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? You mess up, you say a word you shouldn't have, right? You guys are professionals, right? You're used to dealing with public. You're used to dealing with customers. You're used to dealing with parents. You're used to dealing with children, right? It's like, what's the worst thing, right? You're going to say something you didn't want to say. Here's a dirty little secret in media.
We want a dirty little secret.
Right? Dirty little secret.
It could be a little bottom line headline.
Yeah.
Dirty little secret revealed.
You actually submit in advance the questions they're going to ask you. There are no surprises in media. They're not going to throw you under the bus. They're not going to try and spin you and catch you off guard. You're going to pre-supply them. These are the questions that we're going to ask you. You guys are going to have a conversation before you go live on the air with what those questions are. So you already know in your head, you can prepare some bullet points of how you're going to respond to that question. It's not a surprise, right? What happens in media is scripted on a teleprompter. They're not going off the cuff. You know in advance what it is that they're going to ask you. So you do have some advance warning. But here's the thing, just smile, right? And you can even say, I didn't mean to say that. Like, that's not exactly how I wanted that to come out. Like, you be you, and people will fall in love with you. They do already. And smile and nod, be honest, be truthful, keep short answers. If you think you've rambled on too long, just breathe and stop and let the journalist handle the interview.
Yeah, and even think about the media right now that's happening, whether it's our president or anybody else, and think about how they never say anything that's misconstrued or taken out of context, right?
Never.
So we have some really good examples of how it's okay, and you're still going to be in the position you're in, even if you say something that's a little absurd or a little crazy or whatever it might be, right?
Right, and they could, they could truncate your answers, and especially if something's pre-recorded. They're going to truncate your answers. They're going to be super brief. They're going to cut most of that out. If it's live, you'll know the questions that they're going to ask you. There's a lot that goes into it to help you to be prepared and for you to be comfortable on stage. But or on camera, they want you to look good. Like they're not there, especially if it's like a human interest story, a community story. They're not covering you getting arrested. Right? Like they're inviting you in to their platform, onto their stage. This is an exclusive, coveted, premier. This is it's a big deal. They could put anybody there, and they chose you. So remember that. They invited you. They chose you out of all the options in the world, including not even sharing this story at all. They invited you. They chose you. They see something there that is worthwhile to their audience. So let them do their job.
Very powerful. Yeah. And I think that, a lot of times it is our schools are in crisis. And sometimes media does show up spontaneously. And I think that would be like a whole subject for another show to talk about that, because there have been times when media is just there in your face. If you had, an alleged abuse or something going on at your center. But
that's a very different piece of exposure.
Right. That's why I wanted just to clarify. That is very different. But what if, like right now, one of the hot topics is, the reopening of childcare programs. To me, and I don't know, Michael might have a different percentage, but I feel like 50-50. Some are open, some aren't. Some are open to only essential workers. What if you have a topic that you feel really passionate about talking? What do you suggest? Do we just let our emotions out there and just free fall with it when we're talking to the media? Or do you sustain some kind of control with your emotions so that you're projecting a certain kind of something? Does that make sense? So it could be a very heated topic, something you're so passionate about, something that gets you emotionally stirred, like people aren't recognizing you as essential, or there's not enough funding for childcare, or whatever it might be, and you feel just really passionate about it. How do you control your emotions so that you come out in the right way? Or do you just not care? And if you're going to cry, you're going to cry. If you're going to be happy, you're going to be happy, whatever it might be.
Obviously emotions tug, right? And if we can stir an emotion in you, people are going to stop. It's like watching a car accident on the side of the road, right? We always want to look at somebody who's a bigger hot mess than we are.
Right.
But think about this: if you're using this for publicity and exposure. So I used to be a talk show host on the radio, in the morning drive, and of course, people calling up and they're yelling, right? They're talking, I used to always say it's angry guys yelling about sports or politics, right? Like they're just angry and yelling about all this stuff, which is great for morning drive fodder, right? You're listening and it's salacious and dramatic and people are yelling and they're angry and it's great entertainment. That's not exactly how you're going to attract your perfect audience, right? You're not going to attract parents. You're not going to attract employees. You're not going to attract vendors if you're the hot mess, right? That's just spinning out of control. So just think about that where you go, your brand follows. Would you do this? Would you do this rant in front of your clients, in front of your parents, in front of your students, in front of your vendors? Because it does, I want you to be vulnerable. I want you to be real and authentic. And if something is truly, impacting you, you can share that. But just know that you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube once it's out.
I like that quote.
I like that. We could try. I mean, it'd probably be pretty messy, though.
You had me.
Right. We used to do those little lessons, like little, teachable, like object lessons with our kids. Right. And and so it shows a completely different personality trait if you truly can get toothpaste back in the tube. We know a whole lot more about you, personality wise. But, there's, I guess the thing I want to leave the most impact with, Julie, is that there is opportunity. They are looking for stories, and it's easier to do. And I think that most people probably recognize, like, if I really wanted to get my news story out, right there, I could do something pretty grand and big, right? Light something on fire. I don't know, right? There's a lot of ways that you can create publicity, but in just doing what you do every day, because every day what you do really does matter and makes an impact. We might need to put a little spin on that, make that a little bit more, dig a little deeper of why does this matter to the community? Why would this matter? And so, why, and what's the big idea, and why does that matter? And why is that important? We might need to dig a little bit deeper into getting that headline and getting that story pulled together. But there's opportunity. You're not gonna mess it up. It's not gonna be that bad. The worst things that happen to us every day, most of the time, happen in our heads, right? Because of things we're worried about. But when we go out and we make things happen, right? And they're looking for stories that might as well be you, right? And if it's not gonna be you, think about this. Maybe I don't want to do it. Like, I'm a little afraid, I'm a little worried. How about we send your competition and let them get that exposure, right? Because they're gonna interview somebody. And do you want it to be your competition, or do you want it to be you? Do you want to be top of mind, tip of tongue? Do you want to be the name brand around town? Do you really want your story out there? And do you want to even kind of control the story a little bit because of what you're feeding to the media, right? You can create the narrative, and why not? Don't play small. Just don't play small. And I think that when my clients come to me, they're like, Angel, I've always wanted to, and I've always thought about it. And the biggest piece is that we do it together, right? You're not by yourself. You're not alone. You've got a media coach in your pocket. I've been on the inside of this for 12 years. I've been teaching it and helping entrepreneurs. Just last year, we helped 49 entrepreneurs get their food books published and elevated. I've got, the press releases and the stories that we're creating for our clients right now, they're opening the right doors. And they're opening the right doors because we're putting it in front of the right people, and we're sharing the narrative that we want to share. And who's going to see that? Your clients. How's this going to help your bottom line, right? It's exposure and revenue, the two things that are going to keep your business up and running during any economic shift is exposure and revenue. And that's the holy grail, right? That's the magic stuff that we teach at that Media Mastery Bootcamp. You can read about it in the book. You can get yourself started. Just get started and don't have any excuses, because there's always an answer. If you want it, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse.
Yeah, I love that. And I think when I'm thinking about, our leaders and the way that they're working with their teams, think about even just doing a fun Zoom meeting where you have your whole team with you, and you're like, okay, the goal is to get us in the media. Let's brainstorm about some things that we do, whether it's activities or who we are as an organization, that we could turn into something that might be media worthy. And let everybody brainstorm together about some different topics, some different ideas, some different things that they feel that you do that would be like really cool to hear about. And it might even be that they think you're the best boss in the world because you do this, this, and this, and this. And that could be totally media worthy.
It's so exciting, right? You want to put energy into your day, right? Get featured in the media, right? Have your story get picked up, right? You'll ride on the high of those coattails for days, even weeks. It's pretty exciting. And, I think that when things aren't doing good, right, things aren't going good in your life, right, things aren't going good in business, right, do good, right, do something good for the community, go and do something good for somebody else, and then allow that to fill you up, to energize you, to get you back on track. But share those stories. Don't keep it a secret. And we want them in the media. We want those stories. We are anxious, like we are begging for them.
Right.
We don't have a crystal ball to know that you're doing something amazing. And we don't even know that you want the media and publicity. You'd think that, I think a lot of people are like, well, of course we want. And of course we would. Like, we don't just assume that you want that publicity. And how could we? How could we know? So, throw us a bone.
So let them know. And where do you recommend people go, like, for what's the best source? I know there's so many sources out there to distribute press releases. Is there one that you would say this is the place where you got to go to get your press releases distributed online?
Yeah. So if you're not using a publicist and you're not using press releases, you haven't been distributing press releases on your own, the source that I recommend getting started with is a site called PR.com. It's pressrelease.com. You can register for free. You can create a free account. In a baby step, walk you through the whole process. Your headline goes here, your subtitle goes here, right? And it baby steps you through the process, and it keeps track of all your press releases in one on their site. And so it's a fabulous tool. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get any kickback from them. And I send everybody there to get started and every press release is reviewed by an editor before it goes out, to making sure that it fits the criteria, because there's definitely criteria. If you want to know how to write press releases, I do have a course that we teach on how to write press releases, but PR.com is a great place to plug in and get started. And then they distribute it out for you. So the distribution is done to the journalist from that website.
Woohoo, perfect.
That's
so Michael,
great.
I think we need to do one for our Get Connected show. We need to get on PR.com.
Absolutely.
And let people know about the show. And this is great. Michael and I love to give tools. So giving out concrete, go to PR.com. Fantastic.
Yeah, PR.com is a fabulous resource. And you get to keep track. They have different levels of distribution that you can choose from, and depends on the quality of the media platform you want to be distributed on. Yeah. So you can do free, then it's just on PR.com, but it's still Google Food. You can still leverage that press release on your social sites. And then they have different levels. The most expensive one is $300. But at least once a quarter, I'd like for you to have something so good, so juicy that it warrants creating that type of exposure on those major media outlets.
I love it. It's been incredible. And please make sure that if you're tuning in, share this show out. Michael and I are here to serve you, along with our special guest. And we're airing every Tuesday and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So, Michael, what were some of your key takeaways from what Angel was sharing with us? So
lots of
and I know
lots of really good takeaways.
Typing the headlines there.
Lots of really good takeaways. I mean, to me, the biggest thing is just get out there and take action. You've got to get out there and do it. I've used the phrase sloppy success many times, and it's all about taking action. So I know we always end with a quote, so I've got one that kind of correlates back to that. But it's one of those things that I just think a lot of people just don't think they can make it happen. And as Angel said many times, that's kind of small thinking. So love it. No, this was great content. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I think it was absolutely fantastic. And if you're tuning in, you got a comment, you got something really great, leave it for us. And we'll also invite Angel into the discussion as well. But if there's anything that you have for us, questions, concerns, just comments, key takeaways, we'd love to hear from you. So how do you want to wrap up, Michael? You want to wrap up with your quote? I know we're probably at time, if not a little past.
Yeah, I know. I promised Angel, I know she wanted to mention another event or something fun. So if you want to give us I'll let you kind of plug Sharon. So we'll give you that, and then I'll end with a quick quote.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm putting an event together with Sharon Lechter. If you are familiar with Think and Grow Rich for Women, she also was the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Outwitting the Devil. She's putting an event together this week on Friday. It's a day-long event called Assets Are Sexy, and you can attend for free by going to assetsaresexy.com. She's helping create $1 million businesses. And so if you want to take and create some assets with what you're already doing and how to leverage those assets and learn how to build $1 million brand, that's what Sharon's going to be teaching. And you can register for free at assetsaresexy.com.
I think I'm registering. Assetsaresexy.com.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of her stuff. She's
she's
some
amazing.
Really
she's amazing. She's my Oprah, right? When everybody says like, oh, I want to be on Oprah, right? Where do you want to be featured? Yeah, Sharon is my Oprah, and I'm excited I get to be on her planning team and her media and marketing team for this event.
Nice. Awesome event.
Love it. So we're going to wrap up with a quote. So I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, so he's obviously got a lot of quotes, but one of my favorite is, "The only impossible journey is the one that you never begin." So get out there, take some action. Tune back in on Thursday, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Again, Angel, thank you ever so much for joining us.
Thank you, Angel.
Have a wonderful next couple of days, everyone, and we will talk to you again on Thursday.
Thanks for tuning in.